From the campus of West Deptford High School in West Deptford, New Jersey, the GCEN presents high school football. Tonight, it's the Group 2 South Jersey Championship game as the Hillside Comets visit the West Deptford Eagles. Hello again, everyone. Rob Christ along with my partner, Fred Swartz. A cold, crisp evening here, windy about, and a phenomenal night for high school football. West Deptford, a traditional power here in South Jersey, takes on a team vying for the South Jersey Championship, but they're from Union County. A 2.5-hour bus ride. They're down here, and they're looking to make it 3 in a row. They've won 2 straight sectional championships. They're looking to make it number 3 and add the South Jersey Championship to their trophy aisle. So, again, Fred, we come here tonight, a phenomenal matchup. You have an undefeated Hillside team taking on a West Deptford team that, again, a traditional power. Hillside comes into this game so much confidence, so much talent. You have to like their chances. And again, from an offensive standpoint, very explosive.
They are, and they're averaging almost 40 points a game. Probably also important is defense. They've pitched 6 shutouts this year. That's always tremendous because we always figure that defense wins championships.
Well, again, you mentioned their high-powered defense, but again, on offense, let's take a look at some of the weapons, specifically their quarterback, Nari Biggins. I mean, some heady stuff. Coach Grant said, Nari Biggins, he is the Lamar Jackson of high school football.
Yeah, that's pretty great kudos right off the bat. He can do everything. Last year, he was a wide receiver. The starting quarterback gets hurt in the early season. They move him to quarterback. He can run, he can throw. He scored 15 touchdowns, and he's a leader of the team. Everything that you want in a football player.
I think there's no greater compliment to this West Deptford coaching staff than the fact that every person you talk to talks about how they do things the right way. Very disciplined, very structured, and they run a wing T offense that a lot of teams rarely see. That could be the difference tonight.
Yeah, and if your linebackers or your defensive ends don't read their keys, don't play assignment football, they could be in for a long night.
Let's talk offensively. Aaron Graber is their quarterback. He kind of makes things go. Very impressed with him when we had West Deptford earlier in the year. A heady player, a tough player, a guy who's a true leader.
Yeah, he's really improved over the course of the season. When you run the wing T, it's all angle blocking and misdirections, but you need a leader and you need a person that is able to run the offense. He does that.
You know, both of these teams like to control the football. It may be the team that has the greater time of possession that comes out on top. We'll see. Stick around. Group 2 Championship football in just a moment. Welcome back to West Deptford High School. Your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week is the South Jersey Group 2 Championship game. At the bottom of your screen, you see West Deptford running out to kick it away. They won the toss, and they chose to defer, wearing their midnight black tonight, fringed in green. Clear skies and windy. Feels like 41 degrees. Maybe feels a little bit colder to you and I, Fred.
Absolutely.
The Comets of Hillside in white and maroon. Again, these are 2 proud programs who find themselves in the championship game. No strangers to this. And I think one decided edge that West Deptford has over the Comets of Hillside is their kicking game.
Absolutely. Radcliffe is maybe one of the best kickers in the state. Well, you know what's also interesting? North Jersey versus South Jersey.
Yep.
Championship football. Buckle up. It's going to be great.
Here we go. Ready to kick it away is that man we just spoke of, Brandon Radcliffe. You can hear the crowd excited, and we're underway here at West Deptford High School. It's a long line drive into the end zone, and Hillside will start offensively at their 20-yard line. That was James Westry who the ball found its way over. And Hillside comes into this game with a vaunted offense, scoring 422 points over the course of the season. And again, their defense, no slouch either, averaging yielding just under 4 points a game.
That's impressive. When we get a chance to look at Nari Biggins, who is the next athlete that we've seen that can do it all. He can run, he can throw, he can catch, he can think, and he's tough. So that gives you a 5-star player.
Nari Biggins with so many scholarship offers, including Rutgers, Syracuse, NC State. And the first play is a handoff, kicking it outside. And now breaking tackles is number 7,
for Hillside. That's James Lewis, maybe their go-to guy, but after you broke a tackle or two, it was all for naught as West Deptford swarmed, and it led by Cody Thurston, that man right there.
Yeah, Rob, good team tackler. Watch right there. It's just a straight like on the RPO. The play was designed to go inside, and then you'll see Lewis try to bounce it outside, and the pursuit by West Deptford is just outstanding on that play. Good fill tackle there by Cameron Dixon.
We mentioned these two teams really like to possess the football. This may be a very quick-moving game. Again, it's probably Hillside that was more apt to throw the football than West Deptford. It is windy down on the field. 2nd down and 11. And the handoff again, no, it's a forward pass, just kind of a shovel pass, and that finds its way to Hillside's number 8, J.D. Delva.
And again, that's what Hillside can do with Biggins. He can definitely run. He can throw that little sweep. Watch this here. It's a fake sweep, and it's just that little shovel pass inside, straight up the field. Get as many yards as you can, and give yourself a good opportunity to make first down on 3rd down.
Well, that's a high percentage pass, Fred. I think you and I could pull that one off.
I think you're right, but it might be an adventurous after that.
A good deception play there, and sets him up for a short 3rd down and 2. Biggins with the snap. Hands it off right up the gut, and it's going to be close to a first down, but it looks like the mark is going to be short. They're saying the ball is loose, but the referees are saying no. So just a gain of 1 for Lewis there, and that brings up a 4th down and 1. So Hillside forced to punt it away here on their opening series.
And here we can see this is just power versus power, and stepping up in there is Gavin Gismondi to meet the ball carrier and stop him short of the first down. First key of the game, West Deptford for a 3 and out against Hillside.
Gismondi, the backup quarterback for this West Deptford team. High snap, and the punter now fakes. Will he try to punt? No, he's going to try to carry. On his feet, and he's across the first down marker, and that is a huge, huge play as the punter, that's not Reed Biggins, and we see that he is dangerous because of his escapability, and what looked like misfortune turns into, in fact, good fortune.
Yeah, great hands showed right off the bat, because that was not an easy snap to get, and once he gets going, boy, then you have such a great athlete like he is here with the ability to get outside and get the first down.
So a gain of 6 will allow Hillside to maintain possession there. You see Barris Grant, such an impressive coach. Had an opportunity to speak to him before the game. 10-0 in his 4th season, 34-10 at Hillside. Played his college football at Mississippi State. Had a number of college coaching stops, including at New Mexico State, and has done a phenomenal job here at the helm for this Hillside program. Inside handoff, and we'll see whether the Comets get a little bit of a momentum and adrenaline boost as a result of that big 4th down play.
We've talked about this a lot of times. In the beginning, you script a lot of plays, but you also try to find out exactly where you can go. That's the 2nd time they've tried to go inside, power versus power, and the 2nd time we'd see Gismondi come up out of his secondary position to make great plays.
Gismondi has been a force, and West Deptford, did they jump? No. Now Reed Biggins gets the call over from the sideline and articulates it to his wideout, J.D. Delva. Delva spreads the word, handoff from Biggins. Inside again, falling forward, and that goes to about the 40-yard line, and stumbling forward was number 20, and that is Jaylene Niels.
And Niels on that one. I think that's Jahan Moore actually there for Hillside at that time, is supposedly one of their big backs that are set up. Yep, it's Jalen Niels. My mistake, and that's absolutely correct.
3rd down and 5.
Well, here comes our big 3rd down situation in here, because you need 5 yards for the first down. West Deptford has not seen the pass yet. They may see it right here.
3rd down and 5. Trips left for the Comets. And Biggins works out of the shotgun. Handoff fake. Biggins keeps. Biggins still on his feet, and he'll have enough for the first down. We mentioned before that Grant makes the comparison of Biggins to Lamar Jackson, and there we see a little bit of what he's talking about.
Yeah, you'll see it again. He fakes the sweep outside that fools West Deptford, and then he just knows what to do with the football. I'll tell you what, to be compared to Lamar Jackson is a pretty impressive credential right there.
Well, he's not afraid of comparison. We talked a little bit about one of his runners earlier, saying that he's comparable to O.J. Simpson. So, I mean, as much as Lamar Jackson's good, O.J. Simpson's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, that's for sure.
First down and 10. Again, the pitch forward inside, and that falls to Westry, who picks up a nice jump.
And that was another player that Coach talked about before the game. He said he can do almost anything. He's a wide receiver, but he can run the ball. He plays defensive back. He catches the ball well. He has 5 TDs. You can just see here, they know exactly what to do. Rob, one of the things that impressed us when we were talking earlier in the game is how Hillside came into this situation. It's all business for them.
Yep.
They've been here before. They know what to do, and that's pretty impressive, and it shows a lot on the head coach.
It does. It illustrates the discipline, the structure, and the sense of purpose. So, second down and 2 passes. Each pass was relatively short. This time, Biggins keeps, throws deep, and it's a jump ball up in the air, and it's picked off. An ill-advised pass by Biggins. Very surprised to see that, as Biggins probably could have kept the ball and come away with the first down, but it's picked off, and West Deptford comes away with a key turnover.
Yeah, and that's exactly right. When you're watching here, he had plenty of time to make up his decision. Could have even run the football at this time. Just puts it up for grabs and hopes that his man can out-jump the West Deptford athlete. Is not going to happen, and it's first turnover of the game. Nice interception there by Devin Colon.
So West Deptford takes over. 6:40 left in this first quarter, their first drive of the evening.
The first time that now Hillside, they've seen it all week in practice. Now they get to see the real deal in the wing tee.
You know, a lot of times, Fred, in championship games, it's about decision making. I think Biggins would like to have that back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right up the gut, a short gain, and about 3 or 4. That is for West Deptford's Tion Cherry.
Yeah, he's starting this game in place of Shields, the normal fullback, out this game with an injury. So Tion, who's a very, very good player, also a very good defensive player, making the switch over to fullback.
Again, you can see why West Deptford has such a strong tradition, so much depth on this team. Scarrato out for the season, and they just keep going forward. Handoff, a lot of room on the outside, and finally it's Bookman who's knocked out of bounds.
Yeah, Bookman's a 1,000-yard runner right off the bat, and cast a little fear into the hands of the Hillside people. They know he's the man that they have to stop to win the game. It's just a quick sweep. Some people call it like a jet sweep. He's got a lot of momentum when he goes to the outside and is able to gain that first down.
It's good he came up, it looked like he might have been hobbling. His knee kind of bent funny there, but he looks to be in good shape. And obviously West Deptford will rely on Bookman quite a bit this evening. There you see Aaron Graver, your quarterback, number 13. We talked about his role as a leader on this football team. First down and 10, 6:04 left. West Deptford with their first down, and again the handoff right up the gut, and about 3 or 4, and that's Bookman.
Yeah, just a lead, as you can see in here. A reverse pivot out of the quarterback spot, hands the ball off to Bookman, and he just follows his fullback, as you can see here, right in the hole. Fullback makes the block on the linebacker and follows Bookman, just falls ahead for yards. The linebacker that showed there, number 11 for Hillside, outstanding player. Another one with big-time Division I offers.
You know, we talked in the pregame, Fred, off camera, and you mentioned that the size difference is noticeable. West Deptford seemingly much larger than Hillside, and we'll see how that plays out in the trenches. The handoff again inside, and hit after a very short gain. A lot of hard hitting tonight.
Yeah, again, the two defenses on both West Deptford and Hillside are outstanding. Hillside has thrown 6 shutouts so far this year. West Deptford 5. So when you look at this, I was kidding with Rob. I was kidding with you in the game. This could be 40-38 or 7-6.
That was Langley O'Marcus that came away with the play there, and a key third down. And 3 for West Deptford. Clock continues to move. A very rapidly moving first quarter here at West Deptford High School. People still filing into this football game. Graber keeps. Graber bowls his way forward, stretches towards the first down marker, and he should have enough.
And there's our first look at it. That was just a direct snap to Graber, and he just knew exactly what he got. He makes a little inside fake, takes over to the outside, lowers his shoulder, and gets right to the marker, and they are giving him a first down. And that's the one danger when you play West Deptford is time of possession. West Deptford can put a 20-play drive on you in a heartbeat.
Kieran McCown kind of led the way there. Graber just ran right up his back, and again, it's going to be determined tonight most likely behind those big guys in the trenches. First down and 10, the pitch. Running room for Bookman. Bookman, and he is tripped up. Fine tackle made by the Hillside defensive player. That's Perry.
And it shows you how much momentum is involved in that. When we watch Bookman here, he has a great head of speed when he gets the ball, and he just comes up, meets the defender, and lowers his shoulder, and is able to roll ahead for a couple more yards. That's what makes Bookman so good, is the fact that he doesn't shy away from contact.
First down, gain of 5, 2nd and 5. And now again, a short run here, and the Comet swarm. Cherry with a gain of, we'll call it 1.
And that was exactly right. You can see good team defense in that situation. That once the initial hit has come, then all the pursuers come in to make sure they get the tackle. But first little situation play here for West Deptford, because they're going to probably, we might even see a pass on this situation. The good old Waggles due to come up.
Inside of 3 minutes left, Graber has yet to throw the football on this opening drive for the Eagles of West Deptford, playing at home, hosting the South Jersey Group 2 Championship against the team from Union County. Certainly not South Jersey. Graber hands off. It's Bookman. Bookman kicks it outside, stretches, and looks like he's going to be just shy of that first down.
Yeah, very, very good open field tackle there by Jahan Moore. He just really got up to the area and made exactly what he needed to do, a steady tackle. But I think West Deptford will go for it right here.
Interesting call here early by head coach Jason Morrell, illustrating a lot of confidence in his West Deptford offense, and again, particularly that offensive line. They've had a good push. That was the shortest run tonight by Bookman.
I think this is a statement right here. You got to prove right now that you're tougher than Hillside.
4th and 1, and Graber will keep, and Graber will have it easily. He's still on his feet. Graber still pushing forward. A little surprise there. You know, Hillside really didn't pack the middle. I think everybody expected that very play except Hillside.
I think that's right, because Hillside was looking like Bookman's going to drive the go outside, but you can see it here. Just watch this. He just keeps moving, keeps his legs driving, and that was impressive football right there. However, if you think about it, it's the easiest play to get 1 yard.
Yep.
So,
and we take a look over at that West Deptford sideline, having the confidence in their unit to go on 4th down and 1, and that may pay dividends as the game progresses. 1st and 10, and West Deptford is now in Comet territory. Clock continues to wind down, 75 seconds left in this first quarter. And Graber keeps. Graber on his feet, hit, looks to stretch forward, and just not much room there for Graber.
Yeah, good team defense right there by Hillside, making sure they stayed exactly in their positions that they were supposed to be. That's good coaching that's done there, because there was a lot of misdirection in that situation. Graber's really, really met. The linebacker, Phil, there was outstanding. Makes that hit. That's Akube Okoro. Again, he's supposedly a big division player, and that definitely showed right there.
Ube Omakaro, as you mentioned, with many, many scholarship offers, and we've seen him be a force here early. A handoff again, and it's Bookman with room. Bookman staying low to the ground and picking up a nice chunk once again. Bookman has been effective, and some good tackling by this Hillside team. Again, you can see that these are two very well-coached teams. Not surprising to see them here.
That's exactly right. And quality programs and led by quality coaches. But the situation right now, West Deptford's finding some success when they run outside, going to their right. And how about that? The first quarter's over already.
We are through one quarter of play. It's a tight game. No score here at West Deptford. It's the South Jersey Group 2 Championship game brought to you by Atlantic City Electric. Welcome back to West Deptford High School, about to begin the second quarter. Rob Christ along with Fred Swartz bringing you the South Jersey Group 2 Championship game here on the GCEN. And it's been a tight one. No score thus far, not a lot of offense. And the carry up the middle should be enough for the first down.
Yeah.
Cherry.
Typical West Deptford football right off the bat. Go wide, go wide, go wide, then say, here we come, and come right up the middle. Cherry doing exactly what he needs to do, knows where the sticks are, keeps his shoulders square, stays straight ahead, gets the first down.
If you're head coach Jason Morrell, you love what you're seeing right now, because not only are you dominating the line of scrimmage, but you are eating up clock, keeping that Hillside offense off of the football field.
Yeah, this is vintage West Deptford football.
Again, the handoff inside and pushing forward. It's Cherry. Cherry bent backwards. But a nice pickup again, and again, I can't say it enough, that offensive line has been a factor.
Yeah, and they're very good. They're experienced. They work hard in the weight room. They do the things that are necessary, and that's why they're winning. We can see right in here, there's Cherry really driving. He did get hit hard by the linebackers when they come through, but he'll take a 5-yard gain anytime.
Anu Akumbunga on the tackle, number 4. Bookman with the carry. Bookman angled towards the sideline. Will stay in bounds, but not before picking up a few more.
And also, when you go on long drives like that, it changes your offensive philosophy a little bit if you're Hillside, because they know that if they don't get first downs, they're not able to move the football. They may not get it back for a long period of time.
3rd down and 3. West Deptford's Bookman. 6 carries thus far with 30 yards. You mentioned earlier he's a 1,000-yard rusher for.
Yeah, he's had a great year, and he's tough, and he plays both sides of the ball, plays corner on defense. He'll be a great addition wherever he goes.
Here comes Graber on this critical 3rd down. Graber. And the little sweep. That'll be enough for the first down. It was Dixon on the carry.
Yeah, the counter sweep is basically the name of that play. And let me tell you what, it is successful, because watch, there's a little fake to the fullback, then counter coming to the outside, and that is just good football right off the bat. Really puts pressure on the defense, especially the defensive end, to make a play like that.
First carry on the evening for Dixon. They have trotted out 4 different rushers thus far, including Graber, your quarterback. Clock and this West Deptford offense continues to roll. 1st and 10. Bookman, fake. Graber right up the middle. Graber sticks his head down and bowls his way forward, and now pushed back.
And again, look at that situation. The linebackers immediately thought that ball was going to go outside again, and took off and ran to the outside. And that allows Graber, watch, they think it's going to go to Bookman, opens up real quickly, and then it takes all the way into the defensive secondary before Graber is hit. So that's great execution by West Deptford. Good ball fakes.
So Graber looks like he may have hurt his hand on the rush. Again, they'll continue to pound this football. I think it is worth mentioning, this Union County team, 2.5-hour bus ride now.
Yeah, sometimes I've seen very good teams lose their game on the bus.
Yeah. I mean, 2.5 hours, you don't see that in New Jersey. Montana,
that's for sure.
Yeah. 2nd down and 5. Graber fakes the handoff and carries again. Graber with room into the secondary, and he'll have more than enough for the first down.
Yeah, great blocking out in front of that. Good job by the wide receivers. Good job by the pulling guards. And Graber knew right after that when he was going to run, that's just a keep for the quarterback. You fake the sweep coming to the outside, and then he keeps. He's got a guard out in front of him, and blocking downfield, number 60s and number 50 definitely down there. That's Tessier Money and Michael Griffith leading that way for West Deptford.
Well, Graber now starting to accumulate yardage on his own. He has not thrown the football yet. The ball has not seen the air on the West Deptford side. Hillside, 2 for 3. The interception, the key play there. Their first 2 passes were in the air, probably all of about 1 yard each.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Once he threw it downfield, it was picked off. So there you see Graber. We mentioned he was favoring his one hand, but went right back to the run, and he has been effective on the ground.
And West Deptford is in scoring area. Besides being in the red zone, they're going to come away with points on this drive.
Graber, drop, slings it outside, and well defended there. So the first pass is to the wide out. That is Thurston, and that will lose yards.
And again, we got a chance to look at Nari Biggins. Yes, he plays defense too. He made that outstanding open field tackle right there.
Loss of 3 on the play, and that is the first throw, as we mentioned, from Graber. Coming into the game with the play is Devin Cologne. 2nd and 13. Play took a little too long to develop.
And then again, it was a nice situation by Hillside because they weren't getting pounded inside. Their secondary can play very well.
The handoff, and it's loose. Hillside falls on the football. The ball is loose, and another critical turnover here deep in the defensive end. It's Hillside's turn to come away.
And what a break for Hillside, because West Deptford was heading very close to going into the end zone with the first score again. Watch it again. The great fake inside, and it's almost like the ball comes out of his hands, and the defender was right able to pick it up and scoop it up. Now, Hillside's been very good on this on defense. They've been able to make fumble recoveries, make the big hits. They had 26 sacks on the year. Look at this. Both teams, 40-point offense on the game. We are no score.
And it looks like we're going to have a timeout on the field. And did not see an indication as to who called timeout. It looks like it...
Timeout,
It was Hillside, so Hillside burns their first time out of the evening. The recovery there was number 17, Isaiah Johnson, the senior for Hillside, and both teams guilty of turnovers deep in the offensive end or the defensive end of their opponent. But we mentioned that a lot of times in championship football, it's decision-making, it's critical errors.
Right.
The team that mitigates the most mistakes is probably going to win. There you see last year, West Deptford fell to a Camden team that has had another successful run, and they're looking to bounce back here. But again, mistakes, usually the difference maker.
Right, and that's a very good point. But if you also look at West Deptford, you have to put in your back of mind, you were moving the football. You were driving right down the field. You actually stopped yourself. Hillside never really actually stopped you.
And this will be an interesting series because Hillside will need to get it out of their end. Remember, on their punt, they had trouble. The handoff inside, met immediately, still rushing for it, and absolutely nothing there. That looked to be James Lewis once again.
Again, and when we take a look at West Deptford's defense, they're thinking in the back of their mind. They make a stop right here. Watch again. As you can see, this is straight football, absolute straight football. And Tessier Money really wreaking havoc right there in the center of that defense. And there was no push, no movement there at all.
Well, Tessier Money is paying the bills. A big power rush there, mitigating the offensive onslaught that is this Hillside team. Lewis, 4 carries and just 3 yards thus far. Clock continues to move here. Again, a rapidly moving first half and still people coming in. Biggins, hands off inside, looking to stretch it outside, and again, not a whole lot there. That was for Nazir Elias.
Yeah, and again, taking a look here, they tried to do a little counter work, a little misdirection, but again, West Deptford staying home, and yes, there is some gain on the play, but nothing to be determined one way or the other. That's a great open field tackle right there, and that's made by number 8, Bobby Royal, defensive end for West Deptford, who's had an outstanding season for the Eagles.
This Hillside team is quickly finding out that this West Deptford team is not in keeping with a lot of their other opponents this year. 3rd down and 8, and a big 3rd down here for Biggins and the Comets. Neal's in motion. Biggins hands off on the draw play and stretching forward but shy of the 1st down. And the Comets will be forced to punt it away. That was Lewis once again.
Yeah, and a very, very good play call. I mean, the draw usually works very, very well. As you'll see, it's like a delayed draw. We used to call it the wraparound draw, where your quarterback goes over and then hands it into the pouch of the running back. But West Deptford, again, staying home, doing what they're supposed to do. That stops the play.
That was Money once again, and Money has been a huge factor here for the Eagles. Back to receive the punt is Cologne. Remember, it's Biggins who is your punter, so he's always a threat. I don't see them faking here, but we turn misfortune into a 1st down. Biggins takes a lot of time, but gets it away, and the punt will now bounce into the West Deptford Eagle and down at the 43-yard line.
So we can add another chapter, I guess, to the book on Biggins. He can now kick the ball. He's definitely booted that one. It's a big plus because West Deptford could have had excellent field position. They still have a short field, but it isn't where they thought it was going to be.
Got a 42-yard punt there for Biggins and the Comets. No return, 4:40 left, and here comes this West Deptford offense once again.
And I think you're just going to see straight ahead football, run a little sweep, a lot of running plays coming up, try to get down and score before halftime.
Inside handoff, a quick burst, and it's Cherry. Cherry with about 5.
You know, he's definitely been a more than capable backup here for Gavin Shields, probably waiting for his time to carry the football, and he's certainly living up to what the coaches had in mind when he was going to play instead of Shields.
2nd down and 5 for the Eagles.
Let's go, Green, get big!
Ball spotted at the 48-yard line. Bookman in motion. Bookman on the carry, and he slips. That's a big play. He looked like he had some room. Remember, it did rain earlier tonight, so that may have played into it.
Yeah, there was definitely a lot of room for Bookman to run. That play's been successful all night. Now for Jason Morrell, interesting situation. It's 3rd and 8. I mean, you've been running your sweeps outside. You've been running your fullback inside. You've been getting yards, but you're on your side of the 50-yard line, so we'll see what he calls.
3rd down and 8. There you see Jason Morrell, 9-1 in his 2nd season. He has been so successful, taking over for what is really a legendary coach here in West Deptford in Clyde Folsom, and he has picked up right where Folsom left off. 3rd down and 8. Shift here. It's Thurston. And did they get the play off in time, or are they going to call a timeout?
Fly comes from the back man, so that's going to be a delay against West Deptford, and will definitely at that time maybe even change the play call. West Deptford doing interesting. They traded the tight end and the wing back. They came over to the left side, created an unbalanced look where almost everybody is on the left-hand side of the field to try to run some kind of power play.
So there you see today's officials, the referee Mike Caldarella, Mike Lewis the umpire, Stephanie Seminio, the linesman Matt Luce, and the cast of characters including our good friend Bruce Davidson on the clock. 39 years he's been at it, Fred, since you've been born.
That's for sure, and a few more years.
And now a timeout called by West Deptford, so Jason Morrell trying to get the troops in order. Rarely do you see this confusion from West Deptford. Again, the play not off in time, but we understand just how important this series is. 3rd down and 13. If you can come away with the 1st down, the likelihood is then you can maybe ensure that Hillside does not get the ball back. Conversely, forced to punt Hillside with dangerous return, then may end up getting good field position.
And I think that's a very good point, and the wind is blowing towards the flags area, so they're concerned about how far the kick could possibly go. But here's an interesting thought. West Deptford gets the ball to start quarter number 3.
Yep.
If they can keep the ball for the remaining part of this period. That's a long time before Hillside gets a chance again.
That's a great point, Fred. There you see that West Deptford 7 times South Jersey Group 2 champions. Last time, 2016, Haddonfield won in 17 and 18, and Hillside put a pasting on them the last time they met.
36 playoff wins for West Deptford program. Incredible.
Handoff with room across midfield, knocked out of bounds, very close to the first down.
And I think he's going to get it, and that is an outstanding run.
First down for Cologne and the Eagles.
Yeah, watch it again. It's just a straight sweep, everybody out front. The contain man goes inside. That opens up the outside, and it takes Nari Biggins to bring him down. But after the first down, West Deptford gets what it wants. It's going to have the ball probably the remaining part of this half, and then to start the third quarter.
If you're Hillside, you're frustrated right now after that play. You think you have them pinned back. They shot themselves in the foot, but still, they were able to bounce back. A gain of 13, first down and 10, right up the gut. It's Cherry. Cherry spins, and Cherry, what I've been impressed with Cherry is his momentum always forward, always picking up an extra yard or two. He's a hard runner, and those start to accumulate over the night.
Yeah, watch it again. You can see this. He keeps his shoulders square. He turns on that time, which a great running back always do. When you get hit, you always roll with the hit and then try to lunge forward. He does a great job. That's what you're supposed to do.
Second down and 6. Clock continues to move. Inside handoff. No, it's a little end around again, and this time it is number 25. That's Gilmore, his first carry of the night.
Yeah, again, run the fullback, and then fake to the fullback and give it to your wing back as he comes around outside. That opened up stuff for Gilmore. And again, here we go. West Deptford going right down the field, running the football, getting yards ahead.
That stopped the clock. A short third down here for West Deptford. Again, if you're on defense for Hillside, that's indicative of why you have to stay disciplined. And again, the handoff here on his foot. Bookman cuts it inside. Bookman slung down at about the 12-yard line. A huge pickup for Bookman. 25-yard gain.
Yeah, great job. And again, great deception in the backfield. Good ball fakes. Watch again. The linebackers were sure number 33 was turned around completely. The fullback had the ball, and here goes Tyshawn Bookman around the outside getting as many yards as he can.
First and 10 at the 12. Again, the handoff, and Bookman trying to find his way, maybe gets to the 10.
Yeah, again, good pursuit there right off the bat by Hillside going to the ball. But that's what's making the counters is the deception. That time it was pretty much indicated that Bookman was going to get the ball and Hillside can go at it. But here again, West Deptford scoring zone area. They should be able to come away with at least 3 points.
So West Deptford able to turn a 3rd and 13 on a running play into a first down. And again, if you're Hillside, you're feeling a little frustrated. And I thought you brought up a great point, Fred. If they can continue to move the football here, eat up the clock, essentially go to halftime, maybe Hillside gets 1 or 2 plays off at the most, but then you're back on offense again.
Yeah, and then they could go on a 6-minute drive, and you haven't seen the ball for half a quarter. So I think it's interesting. I think they've told their backs at this time, look, we're going to go power football, we're going to go sweeps to Bookman, put 2 hands on the football, don't fumble, we're going to get points, and we're going to be leading at halftime.
Second down and 8, ball spotted at the 10-yard line. They can get a first down without getting into the end zone. Graber, we talked about him in the open, has been very effective, really leading this team. He's got 26 yards on the ground tonight. Bookman with that 25-yard pickup, almost doubling his total earlier. He's up to 54 yards. In motion, it's Bookman. And again, some deception on their feet. Number 21 into the end zone, touchdown! That is Dixon.
Yeah, again, you called it right on the money. Great deception in the backfield. Fake to the fullback, hand back to the counter play to the offside halfback, and Dixon just knew exactly where the goal line was. Lowered his shoulders and got in, and West Deptford draws first blood.
West Deptford with the 10-yard run, and right now I think Hillside's really struggling with the deceptiveness of this wing T.
Rob, you said it right off the bat in the beginning. You could try to replicate this in practice, but if you're not an expert at running this, you can't recreate it.
The extra point is up, and it's good. Well, an impressive drive, 3 big plays there, the 3rd and 13, the Bookman run, and then finally Dixon for 10 to put West Deptford on top.
And again, I think that we're going to get a chance to see it right here as you watch. Look, the fake to the fullback, hand off to Dixon, great blocking at the point of attack, and then Dixon does a lot on his own to get into the end zone. That's pretty much great effort. I think so far what we're noticing right now is West Deptford is realizing that if they play West Deptford football, they're going to win this game.
That's it. You know, I think one of the things as a coach I always discuss with my teams, it's not about them, it's about us. It's about execution.
Very good point. Yep.
We're here for a reason. Continue to play the way that you're capable of, and great things will happen, and that's exactly what West Deptford's doing.
We used to say, even when we were at Deptford, we would say, we could tell you what play we're running, and if we execute, we're going to go.
Right.
There's no doubt about it.
Right. So this will be a big 1:45 for Hillside, not only from the standpoint of them even just scoring points, but just getting back on track and generating some offense. Remember, as we mentioned, West Deptford will start with the football in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, this is very famous that you don't have to score on this one because, again, it's a 1-score game. You need to get some confidence.
Mm-hmm. Remember, Ratcliffe in the opening kick, able to put it into the end zone, and he is a force for this West Deptford team. It's a dribbler, angled, and that will find its way out of bounds, and that's not what you want.
Yeah, the thing on that is the fact no time comes off the clock on that situation. It has an interesting decision. They can take the ball where it went out of bounds. They can take it at the 35-yard line, or they can make you re-kick. I think Hillside will take the ball at the 35 on that situation, so no time comes off the clock and they can set up. Interesting also, you don't panic here. Mm-hmm. It's a 1-score game. You do what your game plan was. Now it looks like the offense is coming off the field, and West Deptford's going to kick again.
Interesting.
Yes, it is. I mean, the only thing I'm looking at is the fact that it's going to take time off the clock.
And it'll be interesting too whether West Deptford again goes with the squib kick or tries to kick it deep.
Right, and understanding that Hillside has playmakers that could go coast to coast at that particular time.
Now, by the way, there is wind on the field, and West Deptford is kicking into the wind, so it's unlikely that Ratcliffe would reach the end zone in this direction.
Yeah, it's interesting, although we look at where they're lining up, the one Hillside back is at like the 2-yard line.
Yeah, just in case. So Ratcliffe will line it up again. Again, it's a squib kick towards the sideline, and that too will roll out of bounds.
So we go again, take it at the 34-yard line, take it at the 40-yard line, no time off the clock.
Well, in the words of the great Yogi Berra,
it's never
deja vu all over it.
There you go, that's right. And they're going to make him re-kick again, so now we're going to be kicking off from the 30-yard line.
And in a way, you're almost, if you're Jason Morrell, maybe you're saying, listen, just kick it in the air straight.
That's what I would
can't
do.
continue to go backwards.
Correct.
This side's going to make them kick it up again now, this time from the 30-yard
And remember, no clock has been used.
We started at 1:45, and we're still at 1:45.
So their deep back is at the 20.
So remember, they could have had the ball at the 40.
Morrell, it's a line drive and picked up at the 30-yard line, pushing forward across and out of bounds at about the 41. And now a little pushing on the sideline, the return by Hillside's to Wayne Cook.
Well, I guess we look at it, they gained 1 yard and 3 seconds off the clock. So
A little surprised that Cook opted to go to the sideline here. Thought he might cut it inside.
yeah, that's a very, very good point. A lot of special teams in here have returns set up, so whether there was a return right on that situation. Hillside has used a timeout already, so they have 2 remaining in this first half. So I think we may see some balls in the air right now.
1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Hillside with good field position for Biggins. The Comets fake the handoff. Biggins looks to throw, has a man. It's jump ball, and that is up in the air, intended for number 14. That is Fatir Bell, and that's one of those plays on the tip that sometimes goes in the other direction.
You're right. He was lucky in this situation, and it's what all defensive back coaches run called the tip drill when that ball goes up in the air. But great coverage in that situation by Tyshawn Bookman, showing he can play defense also. The safety was behind him, and they had that play definitely smelled out.
I know that Coach Grant, a lot of confidence in this quarterback Biggins. Just looking at his throwing motion, kind of short arms it a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think he's a natural quarterback. I think he's an athlete.
Inside, the handoff across the 45, pushing forward, still on his feet to about the 48-yard line is Westry.
And stays in bounds. That was probably one of their most productive offensive plays in quite a while. I think it also took it down to where you're going to go 4-down offense right here, even though you're on your own side of the ball, because you're going to bet your offense can get 4 yards or 3 yards in 2 plays.
3rd down and 3. Again, the trenches have been owned by this West Deptford team. Biggins out of the shotgun, rolls to his left, looks to throw. Biggins has a man, finds him, and that'll be enough for the 1st down as once again he finds Westry.
Yeah, again, one of the most difficult throws you can make as a quarterback. Now, we have a penalty flag that has just come in, which is very, very interesting, because Biggins had to roll to his left, throw across his body, and made the great play. If I'm not wrong, Rob, this is the first penalty of the game. We got a dead ball, personal foul against Hillside. Huge. Excuse me, it's the 2nd penalty. I missed one somewhere along the line.
So they're offsetting penalties.
So probably a little jabbing going on, and
double your pleasure, double your fun there.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing ventured, nothing lost or gained.
1st down and 10 as the penalty's offset. Clock continues to move, and I'm not sure what Hillside's doing right here as the clock is moving and nobody's calling timeout.
Yeah, I think they thought there was a penalty against them, and they were moving back. But now it's going to be interesting. We have a timeout now called by Hillside. So in a sense, they kind of wasted one right there with 46 seconds or 45 seconds remaining, and that's what the coach is asking. He said, how come the clock was going, but the linesman is going up now to talk to the official, because the clock was definitely moving, and the referee made the decision to wind the clock.
There you see the head coach. Again, we talked about the success of Barris Grant, and he's pleading his case, but it looks like they're going to keep the clock exactly where it is.
I know in college football, on a penalty, the clock runs. So I would think that would be the same with high school.
So Hillside down to 1 timeout remaining. Here's Biggins. Grant giving Biggins the call. That's Niels in the background.
Right, we are down to the countdown now.
Biggins takes the handoff, goes forward on his feet into the secondary, spins, stretches. They'll be shy of the 1st down.
And again, nice run, and here comes timeout number 3 called by Hillside. Now the danger that's up there right now is, again, we see just a fake there for the quarterback, Biggins, and then he runs straight ahead. And again, good team defense by West Deptford. Now your danger is you have no timeouts left. So 1st down, we'll get a quick stoppage for the moving of the chains. But now your plays have to either go towards the sidelines after you get this 1st down or into the end zone.
Jason Rodriguez is their field goal kicker, a range of about 25 yards. So they've got a long way to go before that's a viable option for them.
Right.
Again, just 35.9 seconds left. To get a first down, the clock stops with moving the chains, but that's about it. So you've got to go out of bounds or you got to spike the football. Again, given the fact that they really don't have a kicking game to speak of,
that's right.
You're probably going to see a couple throws into the end zone and hope for the jump ball.
Yeah, or the other thing you have to make sure you set up to do is tell your quarterback and lineman to get up to the line real quick. You can use the spike if you've got the first down, or you call 2 plays in the huddle and say after we get whatever yards we get now, we'll line right up and we'll run play number 2.
Second down and 2.
So Biggins and the Comets have utilized all of their timeouts here. Trips right for the Comets. Biggins sets up the screen pass, and it's deflected, and finally it falls incomplete as the pass intended for Neal.
And again, when you look at yeah, that's definitely, there should be 30 seconds left on the clock. I think the officials are now noticing, but the clock, it should have been at 30 seconds, is already down to 14 seconds, and that was definitely...
running the whole time on an incomplete pass.
So we have the coaching staff here again. 14.9 seconds, and we literally have a,
yeah, we were first in on that.
Back and forth here.
But legitimately, the coach has a good point that clock should probably be at 30 seconds.
And now our referee will probably communicate to our clock operator, because again, the clock continued to move despite the fact it was an incomplete pass.
Right, it was pretty obvious at that point. He's going to talk to Jason Morrell. Probably 29 seconds they're going to put the clock back up to.
29 seconds. 29 seconds.
So 3rd down and 2, 29 seconds now for this Comets offense, looking to tie the score. They trail by 7. It was Dixon with the 10-yard touchdown run, and that is the difference in this football game. Each team has turned the ball over one time. Biggins, again, working out of the shotgun, and fakes the handoff, looks to throw deep down the middle, and that will fall incomplete.
Yeah, again, tell your West Deptford defensive backs, don't let anybody behind you. If they catch it in front of you, that's okay. You can make the tackle. They're out of timeouts. Again, it's just a straight drop here for Biggins. He puts the ball up in the air, just puts air under the ball and hopes that one of his receivers can run into it. Unfortunately, there wasn't the right direction on that one.
Little surprise there. I thought maybe, you have a play where you can gain those 2 yards and then spike the ball, and then you have 3 opportunities to throw it.
Yeah, that's true.
Now West Deptford is apt to try to stop this critical 4th down and 2. Biggins keeps. Biggins on his feet, cuts it outside. Biggins on his feet, angles, and will wisely run out of bounds. So Hillside continues to move the football. That's a big play by Biggins.
Yeah, and when you need a big play, you let your best back run your best play, and that you got to see Biggins right here. Little fake on the RPO. He just takes it out in front of him. Is a great block outside there by number 60, and that would be on the back of the page here. Matthew Amasi, a sophomore.
So 16.8, and we'll probably see some balls heading towards the end zone. Biggins fakes the handoff with pressure. Biggins throws it up. He's hit, and that falls incomplete.
Yeah, great backside pressure there from West Deptford. Again, exactly what you said, Rob. They were looking to throw the ball in the end zone. There's no ifs, ands, or buts.
2nd down, and the Comets probably have at least 2 shots at the end zone here if they hustle. Biggins on the night, he started out 2 for 2, a couple little shovel passes, and since then, an interception and then a series of incompletes sandwiched in between. There was one 6-yard reception. 3 for 8 on the night is Biggins. Again, looking to the sideline for the call. 2nd down and 10, 1st down almost irrelevant here. now they're calling a penalty. That's not helping.
No, it's not. And again, what will happen in this situation after the 5-yard mark off, the clock's going to start running even after no, I'm sorry, there was an incompletion on the pass, so it will not run, but 5 yards further back.
Ball spotted at the 37-yard line. Biggins, he keeps. Biggins down the sideline, runs out of bounds.
Biggins out of bounds.
So again, it's a nice play. It took 4 seconds off the 3 seconds off the clock, but you're not going to get points that way.
So this likely to be the last play of the first half. And Grant talking things over with Biggins. Again, we mentioned this is a talented Hillside team, and they have 5 different players who have been generating D1 interest. West Deptford has truly neutralized both sides of the football. Biggins with the roll, throws it up towards the end zone, and it's defended and knocked down, and that will end things here. No, 2.2 seconds.
And Westby is trying to signal that there was interference. I think when we got a chance to see it again, that was just great team defense down there. Great job down there, because Mundy's been all over the field. And that's just good defense. And that was great job there. Actually, Devin Cologne was the one that really did a great job on that play.
I don't think Wester even would have had an opportunity to catch that football, but as importantly, a penalty of holding called against the Comets. So now they're probably out of the range of Biggins actually throwing it into the end zone here.
There's going to have to be some trickery, that's for sure.
This is where you maybe pull out your hook and lateral play. Last play of the half. Biggins, he'll just hand it off right up the gut across the 35, cut down to the 30. That'll be a big gain, but nonetheless, that'll be it.
And I'll tell you what, West Deptford football, 7-0, and they are playing exactly the type of game that they wanted to see happen.
Well, that was the biggest rush of the evening for Hillside, but really that was something that West Deptford allowed. West Deptford has dominated this first half, particularly at the line of scrimmage, and as a result, they lead the Comets by the score of 7-0. It's your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week, South Jersey Group 2 championship game. Welcome back to West Deptford High School, about to begin the second half. Hillside to kick it away for the first time this evening. Take a look at the first half stats. I think what really stands out, obviously, is the rushing yardage. And of those 61 yards, Hillside gaining about 17 on that last play that was a nothing play.
Yeah, definitely the trenches have been won by the Eagles, because no ifs, ands, or buts.
And we are underway here in the second half. It's a short pooch about the 28-yard line. Excellent field position for West Deptford as they proceed to the 38. First and 10, and shaken up on the play is Hillside's number 17. That is Isaiah Johnson. He's been involved throughout the evening. First and 10, and you mentioned, Fred, it's been all about the trenches for West Deptford.
Absolutely, and very, very important drive here for both teams. If West Deptford can eat up the clock, go down and score, it's really going to put a panic situation into Hillside. Conversely, if Hillside can force West Deptford to a 3-and-out, it's a great boost for them.
You saw there Cameron Dixon with the lone score of the first half, a 10-yard run, and West Deptford picking up right where they left off. Bookman with a nice pickup of about 5.
Yeah, straight ahead football, power football, drive off the line. Our line is better than your line. You get to see it again. Watch. Direct handoff. Here comes Bookman behind the lead back and the fullback, and he just fights for yards. Interesting, because halftime you talk about a lot of adjustments, and we'll see what happens, especially on offense for Hillside, who needs a perk.
Second and 5 for Graber and the Eagles. Graber will hand it off, another big hole here, and that will be very close to the first down. It looks like they're going to give him the spot of 5 yards, and right now they're just blowing up holes.
Yeah, really good job, and actually driving the defenders backward on that situation. This is West Deptford football at its finest.
I mean, at some point, it's just a man-on-man. Who wants it a little bit more?
Yeah, we're tougher than you, or vice versa.
Bookman in motion. Graber hands off, quick hitter up the middle, and again another nice pickup, about 6 yards for Cherry.
And good play calling by the offensive staff here at West Deptford, because they're mixing up the sweeps, the powers, the ISOs. Watch this again, just straight ahead running by the fullback, and boy, that's just 5 yards before he's touched.
That's kind of the story tonight. Bookman and Dixon, and then a Cherry on top.
Oh, good job. I like that one.
Second down for the Eagles. Graber, and it looks like we're going to have a timeout called. And it's going to be Hillside. Interesting timeout here.
Yeah, especially when most teams like to save it at the end or whatever. But I think what he's saying is, we can't allow the same thing that happened in the first half to happen in the second half. And right now, West Deptford is just taking it to Hillside right now.
So Spotswood started their season. They won 54-0 in week 0. Spotswood ran a wing T. That's the only time that they saw it. And obviously Spotswood is no West Deptford.
Yeah, you got it.
There you see their games. Really, Del Val and Bernard's only the teams that put up a fight against them. Surprisingly, Haddonfield got steamrolled. And again, sometimes you look at that and you say, man, this Hillside team is just, you can't stop them. But sometimes we talked about this before, that people have an off week, and that maybe was the case with Haddonfield.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And I think Hillside having a little bit of trouble with the physicality that's out there by West Deptford. They are just manhandling up front.
And again, right up front, and we're going to have a holding penalty here, most likely. Yeah. We've seen a few flags tonight. Bookman falls forward for a gain of 1, and I guess if you're Grant and the Comets, you take this holding call.
Yeah, definitely put them back, force them to do what they do. Now, what I think we'll see now is West Deptford run some type of misdirection play, because, boy, I thought the biggest key and the biggest play of the entire first half was when it was 3rd and 13 or 18 or whatever it was.
3rd and 13.
And they ran a running play and picked up the first down.
We'll see if Graber goes to the air. He is 1 for 1. It was just a screen pass that lost 3 yards. Second down. Again, the handoff. Taken down in the backfield is Bookman. Stepping up, and a big hit laid out by Marcus Langley II.
How about that? Now, what was noticed on the time, West Deptford went with what we call twins. Wait, here's we get to see the play. That is a great hit. They went to twins to the left side, and Hillside sent one defensive back to cover both of the receivers. I'm sure the people up top will notice that, and that's something you can use later on in the game.
And this is a case where you just want to be wise in your decision making. We saw how a forced pass in the first half changed the fortunes of Hillside. 3rd down and 16. Graber, deep drop pass time, just underneath, screen pass. Thurston breaks tackles, falls forward, picks up about 2.
And yeah, that's one of in the playbooks, West Deptford, that's one of their best plays, where they run that little middle screen to either the tight end or the wide receivers. You'll see back here. Just release to the outside, drop inside. Here comes Thurston out from the left. Tries to set up that middle screen, and well defended there by Hillside.
A lot of times when you look at someone and you say they're a successful head coach, there's so many things that are overlooked. Grant calls a timeout and really changes the momentum of this game.
Yeah, that's really interesting. He knows exactly what he's doing, that's for sure.
High snap, and it's away, angled towards the sideline. It will bounce and drop inside the 10. So a nice punt there, and Hillside will have a long way to go.
And there's that kicking game, and how important it is, because Ratliff just makes a great punch or a punt at that particular situation, and puts it down inside the 10. Ratcliffe he handles punts, he can kick off, and he can kick field goals and extra points. Just an outstanding football player.
Well, we mentioned before that, if there's one area where West Deptford clearly has the advantage, it is special teams, particularly the kicking game.
So now here's Hillside. They get a little positive. They stop West Deptford, really basically for the first time tonight without West Deptford stopping themselves, and they get poor field position.
And again, I don't think that Hillside needs, plenty of football here, but they do need to generate some momentum, 2 or 3 first downs.
Yeah, positive energy.
Biggins hands it off. No, he keeps Biggins, and not much there. So the deception not working for the Comets.
That was what he probably should have handed the ball off. There probably would have been some opening.
Yeah.
You're watching here, it's just a fake jet sweep. Everybody goes outside. Biggins cutting back. But again, credit the defense. And on that play, here's what you have to do. You tell your defensive ends or outside linebackers at that time, if the play goes away, you stay because it might be coming right back to you. And that's what happened there.
Quarterback read, and Biggins kept, lost 4 yards, and they are backed up further now, deep in their own end. 2nd down and 14 at the 5-yard line. Biggins directing traffic. And inside pitch, cut down inside, and Hillside is headed in the wrong direction as number 14, Fatir Bell, had his bell rung.
And 21 makes Cameron Dixon really doing a great job on this situation with that tackle. Watch it again. Watch where Dixon comes from. Here he comes up right now, and boom, lowers the boom. And I'll tell you what, you're right, Rob. They're going backwards instead of forwards.
And again, this is a situation where if you are Hillside, you have to not force things. A turnover here could be the end of their hopes. 3rd and 17. Out of the shotgun in their own end zone. The handoff right up the gut. Did he get to the... Is it a safety? No. They're going to mark it just outside the goal line.
Well, I don't know how he got out of there, Rob.
I think it was a second effort.
Yeah. They're going to mark it on about the... let's see what happens right here. I mean, he is definitely hit in the end zone. And I don't know how he gets out of this situation because it certainly doesn't look like he goes forward. But he is, and yeah, you're right. It's absolutely on second effort. The second effort carried him past the goal line.
Remember, they've had issues with their special teams to snap. Good snap here. Biggins gets it away, and Biggins' punt will bounce inside the 25-yard line is where it will be down by Hillside's number 10, Twain Cook. Well, you talk about good field position, a 24-yard punt, and West Deptford answers the call. Big defensive stop by Hillside, and West Deptford one-ups them.
Yeah, and they're in scoring position right now. So I think you'll see West Deptford run a lot of misdirections in this situation, or straight ahead football by the fullback because they know they can already score points immediately.
Handoff, and not much doing there. Bookman stopped at the 25-yard line, and again, this is a situation where you need just a few yards to get Ratcliffe into field goal position. Remember, there is a wind, but it has died down considerably.
Yeah, a little belly sweep right in here. You fake the belly inside to the fullback and handball to the wing back on the side trying to get yards. Was very successful in the first half, and looks like that's one of the adjustments that was made by Hillside.
2nd down and 10 at the 25-yard line. And again, good push by Hillside, but this time Bookman able to string it outside and get some positive yardage.
Yeah, definitely put him inside of Ratcliffe's range for the extra point. And again, excuse me, for the field goal. Again, this is just straight sweep action, and Bookman just trying to get outside and get the yards he can get a hold of.
Got a nice spot, gain of 4, ball at the 21-yard line. 3rd down and 6.
This is not 2-down offense, a 4-down offense. This is if you don't get it, you bring in the field goal to make it a 2-score game.
Cologne in motion, and he gets the ball. Cologne, And he is hit but drives forward. He'll be shy of the first down by about a yard. And it's decision time for Morrell. Do you go for the field goal or the short fourth down?
And it's interesting. It sure looks like he's going to go for it, figuring that his offensive line and his toughness can get it. The only advantage of a field goal is it makes it a two-score game.
So this obviously a huge play for the Hillside defense. Any score from West Deptford, of course, creates a two-score game, and it's Radcliffe who will come on to attempt the field goal. It will be spotted just inside the 25. We'll call it a 34-yard field goal attempt for Radcliffe. Again, and a timeout called, and it's going to be West Deptford. So interesting. Initially, when I saw the timeout, I thought, well, is he freezing the kicker?
Yeah.
No. Jason Morrell wants to go over a few things here.
Well, I think one of the things he's thinking about right now is, do we go for the first down?
Yeah.
And basically, you kick the field goal because you want to make a two-score game. But you also would say to your offensive lineman, get us 2 yards.
Yeah.
So, because 14-0 is better than 10-0. Whatever the message is delivered, out comes Jason Morrell, and they're still going to kick the field goal. And you know what? It's interesting. I'm not saying that this happened, but maybe West Deptford was going to do something or take the hope that Hillside went off sides and they could get the first down on the penalty.
That's a good point. So, again, the attempt, 34 yards from Radcliffe. Kick is up. It's long enough. It is good.
There is the difference maker.
Radcliffe, the 34-yard field goal. And Hillside with a 10-point deficit.
Radcliffe was talking to me before the game begins. Robbie's really looking, one of the schools he's very interested in playing is Fordham up in New York. Now, people may say Fordham, but that's a Division I football team.
That's right.
So that means money, and here we see it again. He just really puts some leg into that and makes it by about maybe 5 yards. So in the cold, the ball doesn't travel as far, that's for sure.
Well, that's a critical 3 points. Hillside now will have to score twice in order to win this football game. They have yet to really generate much offensively. That first drive, as we mentioned, each play went backwards.
And that's true, but I guess a positive you can gain out of that if you're Hillside is West Deptford wasn't able to take it in for a touchdown. Yes, they got points, but it could have been a lot worse. But sooner or later, like right now, they better start executing on offense.
Radcliffe again to kick it away. We'll see if he tries to kick it into the end zone. We mentioned that the wind has died down to some degree, but it is still at his back. Angled towards the sideline, and it bounces out of bounds just inside
Out of bounds at about the
pylon. So good decision making by Westry will force Radcliffe to kick it away once again.
And you're right, good decision making. Thank God it went out of bounds. Otherwise, I think he might not be returning kicks anymore.
Well, you know, the one thing is that the momentum did carry it into the end zone,
True.
right? So that would have stopped it, but can't get much closer than that.
Yeah,
That was a punt that would have been a beauty.
Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. So it looks like, again, Hillside's going to have them take the penalty. But nope, there we go. They're going to take it at the 35-yard line. Smart move, no time off the clock, and here we go. Can Hillside get some offense rolling to get themselves back into the game?
Wise decision by Grant. Again, big difference kicking with the wind versus into the wind. First down and 10. Hillside at their own 35-yard line. There you see your clock, 4:18 left in this third quarter. Pitch inside, some room to operate. Cut inside into the secondary across the 40 and slung down by a couple West Deptford Eagles, including Gavin Gismondi.
Yeah, a little toss back inside. It's like a sweep, but instead of handing the ball off, you just toss the ball, as you can see in here. Looks inside, gets a great block. And that was the block that was put there on Bobby Royal was outstanding and opened the outside for the Hillside runner.
So 7 different ball carriers tonight. That was Delva. 2nd down and 2. Biggins directing traffic. Short drop, he'll keep. Across midfield, and he's down.
And that's why Biggins is so dangerous in that situation. Maybe the best play that Hillside can run, in the fact that they put him where he can make a decision, and once he gets past the line of scrimmage, then he's dynamite. Watch the moves that come up in here and positive yardage. So sometimes your quarterback's best play is when he doesn't pass.
Biggins with that gain of 10, the longest run from scrimmage outside of that last play of the first half for Hillside. That includes any passes as well. So that tells you just how tough this West Deptford defense has been tonight. 1st and 10, Hillside in West Deptford territory. Fumble, and Biggins falls on it.
Boy, tough mistake. You get a positive experience on the last play and then turn it right back again.
Loss of 7.
8-yard loss on the play brings up 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, I mean, again, you really are lacking confidence. You finally have something to build upon. And
right.
Again, quarterback read, a miscommunication between the two, and you've got issues.
And Biggins makes the smart play. People will say, why didn't he try to pick the ball up and run with the ball? Sometimes when you try to do that, you can't, and you lose the ball.
I think, in my estimation, what I've seen, their best bet is to maybe try to throw the football, but then allow Biggins to create on the run, maybe just tuck it under if there's nothing there and let him do his thing.
That's absolutely correct.
Biggins slings it, and he'll have a man who sits down just inside the 50. So, you know, a short game, maybe 5 yards, and still that's not back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, and that's going to put you in a deep situation now where you have to go for the football. You're right. I think that's probably best. As we can see, Biggins isn't your true quarterback.
No.
He's just an athlete. He's
Yep.
a great athlete.
Again, I know he's got a lot of D1 schools recruiting him. Again, it'd be interesting to see where he is utilized, whether it's as a runner, a wide receiver, or maintaining as a quarterback. Right up the gut. Big run here, still on his feet down the sideline. And finally cut down is James Lewis. We talked before, Lewis is a weapon, and we're seeing a little bit of what he can do there.
Yeah, he's their leading rusher. He has almost 750 yards. This is just straight power running. And boy, some great moves. And Lewis showing us right there how he scores so many touchdowns over the course of the year. He has 9 of them. And that one was only a step away from being number 10.
Gain of 22 for Lewis, and Hillside now starting to move the football. 1st down and 10. Clock continues to move. We are inside of 1 minute remaining in this second half. Here is Biggins. Biggins on his feet, still creating. Biggins driving forward and finally brought down. And we're seeing a little bit of life now from this Hillside football team.
Yeah, because that was almost like a broken play. That play did not go anywhere near where it was designed to go. Watch this. It was supposed to go outside. Biggins goes, oh my God, what do I do? Sees an opening and gains positive yards. He is just an exceptional athlete. I can see him at the next level being like a slot back or a return man.
Maybe using him out of the Wildcat.
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's a really good answer.
2nd down and 5 as the clock continues to move, and the handoff now. Hillside getting a push, and that should be enough for the 1st down.
Yeah, first signs of life of Hillsdale. Well, I'll get it right the 3rd time in here of getting Hillside's ball moving correctly. They're firing off the line. Their backs are getting positive yardage. This is just great running. He's pushing onto his guard, saying, "Get ahead, my big friend. Give me some yards, and I'll go ahead."
Well, it's 4th quarter football that awaits these two teams. West Deptford Adding to their lead, they lead the Comets of Hillside by 10 in the South Jersey Group 2 championship game. It's your Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week. Welcome back. We start this fourth quarter with the handoff and some excellent tackling once again by this West Deptford football team. That's Bobby Royal.
Yeah, he did outstanding job at defensive end. He stood his ground, took on the blocker, knocked the blocker back, and then went after the ball carrier. That's how you play defensive end.
Lewis, no gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. You really get a sense that Hillside needs to come away with something here. Working out of the shotgun, it's Biggins. Biggins. He'll keep Biggins. And Biggins' gain is a little. In fact, it's a loss.
And Cameron Dixon doing a great job on that situation out of his linebacker spot. Not fooled by the fake that was done by Biggins to the outside back. As you can see here, watch, there's a little fake to the sweep outside. And boy, that is just classic defense. And that's actually Cody Thurston that makes that play.
And right now, again, you see the West Deptford line starting to flex their muscles and really start to dominate when they need them. 3rd down and 12. Again, this Hillside offense going in the wrong direction. Rolling to its right, Biggins. Biggins throws into the end zone, has a man, he's in! Touchdown! Biggins finds Westry, and Hillside answers.
And that's exactly what they needed. And now things dramatically change in the fact that it's now back to less than a one-score game. I should say back to, but we said before that Biggins is good when he rolls and he gives himself the opportunity to do what he wants. That time there were not only one but 2 receivers open in the end zone. He found the right receiver. Touchdown Hillside.
Well, a lot of football to play here, and this is a critical extra point for Hillside. Rodriguez on to attempt the point after. The kick is up. The kick is good, and now we have a personal foul. That's probably going to be a roughing the kicker call.
So you got 2 options in here. You can take the personal foul and move it up to the 1.5-yard line, which really isn't going to make that much of a difference in this situation because you don't have a field goal kicker. So take it on the kickoff from the 35-yard line, or let's see, it'll be 15, 40, yeah, be the 45-yard line.
50-yard line.
It'll be 15 for a personal foul if it's personal foul.
Oh, the 45. Yeah, that's right. They kick from the 40, correct?
Yeah, you're thinking like I do in college when you're kicking from the 35.
So that's right. So they'll be kicking away in West Deptford territory, which is an interesting scenario because now you can kick an onside kick and still have a lot of ground to cover if it is for West Deptford, if it is not returned or received by Hillside.
That's a very good point. That's almost the right play, is to do the onside kick. Because something can happen, you never worry about it, and it's not going to, if you kick it, it's going to be at least to like the 30-yard line. Now, the other option is just boom it out of the end zone and give it to him on the 20.
At this point, I'm not even sure he can kick it out of the end zone from the 45. It'll be relatively close, but you may be right. And, again, this is why they're paid to be the head coach, right? Because if you go for the onside kick and it's 10 yards, well, West Deptford comes away with it. 1st and 10 at the 35. Not terrible.
No.
But conversely, you back them up and they're starting at their 20-yard line. So interesting to see. I think if I was Grant, I would roll the dice here.
Yeah, I think that's a very good opportunity. I think that's really good because you never know what can happen.
West Deptford doesn't look like they have the good hands team on necessarily. And they're just going to kick a low-line drive deep in the own end, picked up at the 5-yard line. West Deptford will return it, and they'll get it just about to the 20.
All right, now here's our momentum situation. Hillside has just scored. You can see the enthusiasm on the sidelines. You can see the enthusiasm in the players. They hope to stop West Deptford on a 3-and-out, get the ball back, and come down, and whoops, And that will now take it. I thought it was a flag, but it was the football being thrown in. Hillside and West Deptford on the opposite can take all that momentum away with a nice long drive that kills the clock and maybe kills Hillside's opportunities.
1st and 10 Eagles. 80 yards to cover if they want pay dirt. And the handoff, a lot of room across the 30, on his way down the sideline, and finally slung down. A fine carry again by Cameron Dixon, and that's a backbreaker.
Yeah, great blocking outside. Forget the fact that it's going to be a 3 and out. Forget the fact that you're going to get good field position. Dixon says, I'll dip inside, then I'll dip outside, and look out, I'm going. Here we go. In front, he makes a great move, cut back, and Hillside, basically because of speed, was able to stop that from being 6 points.
39-yard gain for Dixon, and he has been something special. Not a lot of carries, but what he has brought has been exceptional. 1st and 10, inside handoff. It's another first down here for West Deptford, and the momentum has swung right back. Cherry.
And boy, has it, and I will tell you, it's almost like in a championship team, you have that heart that all of a sudden when somebody challenges you, you then rise to the occasion and you go right on down. And it's almost like West Deptford saying, okay, you scored, you think you're going to win, we're going to take your heart and we're going to rip it right out of your body.
Cherry spotted just a yard shy. I had him at the first down. The referee said no. 2nd down and 1. Bookman with the carry, slings it outside. Bookman cuts inside. Ball is loose. It's on the ground. Hillside comes away with it. Hillside across midfield. And at the 45-yard line, how quickly things change.
That's exactly amazing. I mean, we're figuring right now that West Deptford's going to go right down the field, score and ice the game. And all of a sudden, wow, Hillside has the football.
And down on the field, it's money. And there you see the Hillside fans celebrating the turnover.
And we can see they can now smell what they think is a chance to take the lead. Watch it again. Bookman does a nice job outside. He's heading up. Everything looks good. Oh, and the ball falls out of his arm. The ball absolutely, excuse me, it looks like you're right. A helmet has hit the ball one way or another and knocked him right out. How about that?
So Hillside now with the football deep in West Deptford territory at the 44.
Now, I've said this a few times on broadcast. Actually, the best play right now is a long pass because the defense isn't quite ready to be on the field. We'll see what they go with.
Trips right. And we got a new quarterback. That is Melendez, who was the quarterback to start the season. Because of an injury, it was Biggins that had to take over, and now there's a penalty flag.
Yeah, it's going to be a delay, and that's killer.
Yeah.
And that's right. And Coach said before the game he's healthy now. He was their quarterback all last year, and he has a very, very good arm.
Well, again, you know, oftentimes any game is about momentum, and the one thing you don't want to do is stop your own, which is what they just did. 1st and 15, Melendez. Hands off to Lewis. Lewis, a big gain. Lewis still forcing his way forward, very close to a first down. It's just amazing how much the momentum has swung back and forth in these past couple minutes.
You're absolutely right. Right now, everything's going. Watch, Lewis just takes it. Looks like West Deptford's going to make a great play in here, but boy, he just keeps spinning and rolling. And I'll tell you what, that's a great offensive run. And all of a sudden, there is big-time life in Hillside's offensive line and their running backs.
Lewis with the gain of 16, his longest of the evening, and Hillside on the march. After a 1st and 15, enough for the first down. The clock continues to move here. Again, it's the handoff inside, and Hillside struggling forward. Once again, that is Niels.
Now, conversely, it's kind of interesting. Getting those little yards or whatever is good for Hillside, because the one thing they don't want to do is score, we'll say, and make it 13-10 and give West Deptford a lot of time to come back. If they can run some time off the clock, get into the end zone, West Deptford then will be forced to go for the big play.
Still a lot of football to be played here. Inside of 8 minutes remaining. There you see Melendez, your new quarterback. Biggins in motion. And the handoff. Still breaking tackles, fighting forward. A nice little run. Delva.
Yeah, that was well defended by West Deptford, and actually the Delva makes a great move to the outside. If you're watching here, I thought he was getting nothing, maybe even a loss, but he's able to break the first tackle, get a good block downfield, and get good positive yardage.
So 3rd down and about 3.
And we're 4 down offense. There will be no field goals and there will be no punts in this drive.
Melendez again, your quarterback. Melendez keeps, pushes forwards. Melendez bullying his way forward, and that'll be very, very close to a first down, but I think he's going to be shy.
Yeah, it looks like about maybe a half a yard short. Now, this is the one time I don't like the spread at times, because your best play right here is a quarterback sneak with a quarterback right up under center. Just tell your offensive line, drive out. You know what the count is, and we'll get that 1 yard that's necessary. If they put Melendez back in the shotgun position, and it looks like he's going under center, so I think they're going to listen.
And they do. Pushes forward, and now we got punches being thrown. And it's going to be a false start. So, again, we talk about shooting yourself in the foot. That's a critical mistake.
Yes, it is, especially when you go from a 4th and 1 now to a 4th and 6. That is extremely tough. Not only changes the play call, but changes, obviously, the yardage.
They are outside of field goal range for Rodriguez. Well, 4th down and 6. Clock will continue to move here. Again, inside of 6:30 left, ball at the 29-yard line. We mentioned before that Melendez is more the natural quarterback, but he has yet to throw a football thus far.
And we have not seen Mr. Biggins on the field.
Melendez trips left. A little play inside, falling forward. That'll be enough for the first down. Again, just a little shovel pass.
Yeah, great extra effort at the right time on that situation by James Westry, because he legitimately gets stopped before the first. He gets outside the first guy, almost gets stopped right here. Look, good tackling position, and he just pushes down and gets the first down. So Hillside overcomes their mistake. Let's see what happens now on this part of the drive.
And you have to count that as a forward pass because it was not a handoff. And now the handoff once again. And Delva, it looked to be.
And Rob, here's what we're looking at. As you mentioned earlier in the broadcast in here, Hillside is the 2-time sectional champion. So sectional champions do not go easy. They are always a tough out. And Hillside is showing that no matter what has happened over the course of the game, they are not giving up until that clock reads 0-0-0.
2nd down and 6. This drive is taking up a lot of time, approaching the 5-minute mark. Melendez again out of the shotgun. Lewis in motion. And the fake to Lewis. No, Lewis keeps, and Lewis sniffed out once again. Fine play made by Dixon. I tell you, he has been the hero of tonight.
Yeah, you're right. I was going to say, if they're giving out game balls and West Deptford is victorious today, he gets the first one you give out, both offensively and defensively.
That play just looked like it was telegraphed initially. And again, credit this West Deptford line. Always great penetration, and Hillside has really had to fight for every yard.
Well, there must be something has happened to Biggins, because he has not been any part of this drive whatsoever. Not to say that maybe they made a decision to put Melendez in the game, but I definitely would want my best athlete in the game.
3rd down and 9. They don't have to get it all here. Melendez looks to throw, throws down the middle, has a man, caught, touchdown!
Wow.
Westry, touchdown, 20-yard pass.
And he was wide open. So some kind of coverage mistake right there by West Deptford, but Westry was wide open in the end zone. Melendez saw him, got the point right to him, passed to him on an easy pass and catch, and now suddenly 13-10 Hillside. This is a big extra point, Rob.
Absolutely.
Huge extra point.
Well, you have to give a lot of credit to Melendez coming off the bench and throwing a perfect strike. The extra point is up, and the kick is good.
All right, so that takes the field goal out of the equation right now. It means West Deptford has to score a touchdown. However, remember, when you have a program like West Deptford has, and you can see, watch here, that's just wide open. Westry makes sure he makes the catch. Touchdown, Hillside. Great programs never give up. We saw that from Hillside. We're going to see it once again from West Deptford.
Westry, one of the many players who is a Division I recruit. Melendez, 2 for 2 on that drive, 27 yards, the touchdown, a pass of 20 yards, and from seemingly nowhere, Hillside rises from the ashes and takes the lead. Of course, the big play, the fumble, helmet on the football. Again, this really, to me, it comes down to technique, because so many times I've seen tonight Hillside just getting a little bit lower than the offensive player on the tackle.
That's a good point.
And because Bookman tried to get underneath him, the defender would not allow it, put a helmet on the football, and has really turned this game around.
No, don't fear West Deptford fans. I mean, there's 3 minutes and 58 or 9 seconds left in the game. You have all your timeouts for 3, so there's plenty of time to come back. The only difference is it's got to be a touchdown. It can't be a field goal.
So again, Hillside will kick it away. They have the wind to their back. The wind has kicked up a bit. Keep that in mind. And the kick is, they're going for an onside kick. The ball is loose. And who has the football? It looks like it may be Hillside.
Now, it has to have been touched, because that ball did not go 10 yards.
Waiting for a call.
So did West Deptford touch the football?
If West Deptford does not touch the football, that ball's going to West Deptford.
And the referees are going to discuss it. And it's going to be Hillside football.
Okay, so it'll be interesting to see if we have a replay. Here it is. It has to be touched. Now we see it's going 6 yards, 7 yards, 8 yards, 9 yards. It might have been touched right there when on that dive that came in, because it was definitely looks like short of the mark, except it looks like they're going to mark it right at the 50-yard line. They have changed their mind now, and West Deptford gets the ball.
Well, that's interesting, because if West Deptford touches the football, it looked to me like they did, but again, it's a 50-50 ball there. Interestingly enough, West Deptford really kind of had to come and try to get the football, because another 6 inches, and that's 10 yards.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it was. There's no doubt that the ball was recovered short of the 50-yard line. The only question is exactly what you said. Now, they're explaining it right now, and Coach does not seem to be too pleased. He is pointing first. The referee is now pointing first down West Deptford. That's the way it is.
Wow. Well, you know, we talk about replay being used.
Here it is again. Watch. 46, 47, 48, 49. Boy, that is close.
I think that traveled 10 yards.
And if it did, that would be... You know, I'll tell you what, though. How about the courage to call that?
Yep. Got to like it from Grant. First down and 10, the pitch. Into the secondary, it's Bookman. He's running hard, and he's slung down at the 41-yard line.
All right, here we go, West Deptford. West Deptford fans, this is the drive you need. This is what you practice for. This is what you lift in the off season. This is what you lift in the summertime. This is what you lift for in the season. This is what you need to do. To win a championship, you have to make no mistakes, go down the field, and score.
Gain of 9, second down. Clock continues to move. We're inside of 3:35. Graber keeps on his feet into the secondary and taken down at the 35. That's a touchdown saving tackle.
Boy, that's exactly right. And that was the number 5 right there. He's back now. Ree Biggins, he makes a touchdown save because there are 2 blockers out in front of Graber, and that's just a great back tackle right there.
So,
yes, it's a first down.
Well, you mentioned before Biggins wasn't out there offensively, but he sure did show up defensively. 1st and 10, 3:25 and counting. And this time it's Dixon who stopped.
And they went back to their bread and butter play that's really been successful during the time. But it's absolutely setting up for West Deptford what we haven't seen all game. And that's going to be that waggle pass where they fake that sweep. Graber rolls to the outside.
And they call a personal foul against West Deptford. This is going to really change the complexion of this drive.
Oh, my goodness. How about that? That's interesting call. So either it's something that was thrown or a block that was made. I mean, we do have a Hillside person down.
And they say it's a dead ball foul, and we have a Hillside player who is down on the field.
So dead ball foul, the play counts, and they're going to go 15 yards from where the play was.
Wow, that's a backbreaker. But we've seen West Deptford tremendously resilient, not only tonight but throughout the season. Again, we have a Hillside player down. Not sure what happened, if that was the aftermath of the personal foul or he's cramping up. Can't see it from here. Trainer's out on the field.
Well, again, probably the hardest part it was called a dead ball foul, which means they gained the play and the 15 yards.
And what hurt on gaining the play was that they gained 0 yards.
Yeah.
So we're going to look for the personal foul at the top of the screen. Plays a not a whole lot there, but they opted to call the flag, and that's, again, you know, not much there. Not sure that's a personal foul, but on the other hand, don't put yourself in that situation.
Yeah, that's really true. Don't do anything that would cause it. It's funny, basketball's changed the rule this year now. They're trying to eliminate the flopping of the players, and now if you do that, then you could be called with a technical foul.
Yeah, well,
so
it's a good idea, but you watch soccer, there's a lot of flopping there.
Oh, my God, more than we can imagine.
Yeah, so, and supposedly that's a yellow card, but I just see more and more flopping. So
yeah, but it's very interesting whether that was a 15-yard penalty. That'll be one that'll be debated for years to come.
2nd down and 25 at midfield. Inside handoff into the secondary, and it's Bookman.
Yeah, and again, right now, when this is the drive for your life, you want to run your best backs and your best plays. Bookman will certainly get positive yardage. We're 4-down offense. There will be no field goals. There will be no punts. Once again, this is pure offense versus defense.
Ball at the 42-yard line, 3rd down and 17. Bookman unofficially with 16 carries for 83 yards. Cologne in motion. Graber. Cologne. And he's dropped deep in the backfield.
Interesting call. They went away from the wing T. They went back into a spread formation and tried to run that little sweep to the outside to get outside. And Hillside was just there. Watch, not faking anybody. That's a great defensive play right there. That is an outstanding defensive play because he went through 2 blockers to make the tackle. We've heard a lot about this young man, and that is Agubi Amakoro. I probably said it 3 times differently tonight, but that was a great play. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, this could be the ball game right here.
4th down and 23 at the 48-yard line. Graber likely forced to pass, and this is where a timeout is called. And if you are Hillside, the first thing you say is do not allow a receiver behind you.
Yeah, that's right. And then you also tell your DBs, know where the sticks are, because he can actually catch a pass, but if it's 3 yards short of the sticks, it doesn't matter. You get the ball. Now, the situation you have to look at, West Deptford has to realize now, yes, they can get sweeps to the outside, but it's got to get 23 yards.
Yeah.
That's the hard part right now. Now, it's interesting. Remember when we saw the game before with St. Joe's? when West Deptford ran that play where it was like a double reverse pass and whatever, and that was wide open.
And again, that's a case where if you see Hillside maybe having that conversation, look, this is the play that they utilized versus.
Yeah, absolutely.
And again, this goes back to coaching. And then one thing I have said repeatedly is that Barris Grant and this Hillside team has been very well prepared.
Yeah, I think from the time we saw them come out on the field for warm-ups, they were here for a reason. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It wasn't a fluke team. It was an experienced team. But I tell you what, I still like the ball in the hands of West Deptford.
4th down and 23. Graber will work out of the shotgun. He's only thrown the football twice tonight. Graber, deep drop, flushed out, throws deep, has a man open, and he underthrows him.
And he was open, and it was a great throw. It just wasn't there enough. Now, that could have been the big key of the game, but remember, West Deptford still has timeouts remaining.
Well, Bookman got behind the secondary. If you're a Hillside fan, you're just pulling your hair out.
Watch this.
Remember, when Graber releases the football, it gets a little bit of air underneath it, and the wind is blowing, and that may have been the difference.
I think that's 100% right because he was 5 yards behind the defensive back. That's a very, very, very good point. Now, tough situation here. You still got 1:45 left to go. In high school football now, they go to the 40-second play clock, but that's only if the ball is either incomplete or whatever in that situation. So not much time is coming off the clock. So West Deptford's deal, make your timeouts quickly. Conversely, Hillside looking at, if we get a first down, game's over.
That's correct. And again, the first thing you talk about is protect the football.
Absolutely.
Melendez, your quarterback, again, working out of the shotgun. He's got Lewis with him. The handoff, it's Lewis right up the gut. Lewis, and he's holding on to the football. West Deptford trying to strip it away, and they'll quickly call timeout. Positive gain for the Comets.
Yeah, exactly. And you called that right. It was straight ahead football. Put two hands on that football. Cover the tips of both footballs with your hand, with the football with your hands, so you don't give it up. Now, here's the interesting situation that comes down. West Deptford's going to take timeout after each play. That could set up a fourth down. If it sets up a fourth down, with one thing we've seen with Hillside, their kicking game's erratic.
Yep.
There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Do you take a chance at punt, or do you go for it on fourth down, even though the play, you don't get it, the clock's going to stop for change of possession and then play defense again?
And a lot of that may be predicated on how close they are to getting the first down on fourth down. But getting ahead of ourselves a bit, 2nd down and 6. We'll see another carry here, most likely from Hillside to keep that clock moving. And again, the handoff, not much doing there. Maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like they may have lost one.
Yeah, again, you can see the linebackers for West Deptford. They knew what the play was going to be. They knew it was going to come straight up the middle. It was mano a mano, and they blitzed immediately to the famous deal when you have 5 inside linemen and 7 people are coming. You can't block everybody.
So 3rd down now on the clock, 1:33. The play's going to encompass 4 or 5 seconds and then another 40 seconds after that. So you're looking at somewhere in the range of maybe 50 seconds remaining before
that sounds right.
A punt.
Now, and basically right now with the loss of yards on that one, if you don't get anywhere near for the first down, you have to punt the football and make West Deptford go a big distance. You got the wind, and you just hope that that's enough for you to do.
And again, so much game within the game. Not only do you go for the punt, then the conversation is, do you angle it for the sideline? Do you try to kick it as far as you can, or do you just kick it high and short?
Yeah, I mean, all options are really, really good. You definitely don't want the return, that's for sure.
So 3rd down and 7. Again, running play here. Lewis in the backfield. He's their leading rusher with just 44 yards. They pitch. Lewis falls down wisely inbounds but loses yards. I tell you, for a moment, it looked like he was headed out of bounds.
All right, so the clock was about 1:27. 1:27 when the 40-second clock begins. So if we figure on that one, it would be around 47 seconds left. Now, you got 2 options in here. First of all, you let the clock run all the way down and even take the 5-yard delay penalty to set yourself up to make sure everything's gone. I think what West Deptford is going to attempt to do right now is try to block the punt. They're going to send everybody in. Now, it's risky because you can get a roughing the kicker on that situation, but I think they're going to go for the all-out block to try to force something to take place without a kick being released.
So again, we'll see whether they take the 5 yards. I think if you're Hillside, it's nice to have a timeout in your back pocket in case something goes wrong defensively, and you can call that timeout.
And that's basically what they did is they took the time, they let the clock run down, and then took the timeout. So it's 42.8 seconds. Again, I'm saying punt block, go for it, send one guy back deep, and just hope that we block the ball, and if it goes backwards, we can score off of it.
You know, it's kind of interesting there. Again, we have talked about this before. We started on the first drive where Biggins had trouble with the snap, turned it into something positive. So nothing is assured here.
That is absolutely correct. Because if you do a punt block and he gets outside the first wave of blockers, there's nobody there.
No. Fourth down, ball at the 49-yard line of Hillside. And Hillside isn't even lining up for a punt.
Interesting.
We'll see if they quick kick or pooch, or if in fact they go for it. And they're going for it. And they're just going to run in the wrong direction. Still on his feet, and finally cut down a whole lot of nothing. Basically a loss of 2 yards, but the one thing that they did accomplish was it took a lot of time.
Yeah, it took 10 seconds off the clock. The only thing I really don't like about that is the fact that, look, West Deptford gets the ball on like the 48-yard line.
Agreed. And we have a player down, and if I'm not mistaken, that's Dixon, and that would be a big, big loss. It is. Cameron Dixon, I tell you, you can't say enough about that young man. What a tremendous game he's had, and it's a shame that this is going to end his night.
Yeah, he's definitely played hard, there's no doubt. Now, the only enemy for West Deptford, well, actually 2 enemies for West Deptford are the fact that they have 32 seconds left in the game. The other enemy is no timeouts. So your Hillside defensive backs have to be understood that you don't let anybody behind them. Now, that happened the last time, too, so we'll see what takes place.
I'll tell you, the fact that they went for it on 4th down, that is kind of an indictment of your snapper, you know?
Well, you got that right.
So 4th down turns into a loss of 2, but they did use 10 critical seconds. 1st down and 10 at the 47-yard line for West Deptford. Graber again will be forced to throw most likely. Graber drops, rushed, dropped in the backfield, and he's finally brought down to about the 47. West Deptford has to hustle back. There's guys walking back. They need to hustle.
And they're yelling right now. They have to get back on sides, and they got to spike the football immediately. I don't think he's offsides.
He's offsides. And did they call it is the question.
And the answer is definitely a no. So, but the clock is now down to 11 seconds. So that was
I tell you, he was obviously offsides, though. It was the wide man. And again, some of these West Deptford players were literally walking back, and that's a difference in 5 or 6 seconds.
Exactly, especially when it was definitely what we call a 4-go route, where all 4 receivers just run right down the field. Graber picks whoever he thinks is the closest one to being open and throws the ball down.
If they do not get a 1st down here, the game is over.
That is correct.
Unless it goes out of bounds.
Right, correct. So legitimately right now, that's what you have to do. You have to plan if you can get downs, or 1st down will stop the clock and then you spike it. So you still have that option too.
And you can see the Hillside defense, I don't know if we can get a shot of it, but they're just playing deep. Doubles defense, basically.
Yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it, too. Well, we got trips coming out to this side, and there's only 2 defensive backs to this side. There's definitely going to be an open spot.
Graber chucks it up in the air. It's going to be a jump ball. It falls incomplete. And that will allow West Deptford to have one more shot.
And that's what it is, one more shot. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Now,
and again, if you're a West Deptford receiver, that's where you should be sending one guy deep in case of the momentum. It tips up, and again, you're off to the races. And that's really West Deptford's only hope here.
And that's exactly right, because Graber won't have the arm strength right now to throw the ball 60 yards into the end zone. So it's going to be somehow around the 20-yard line, 15-yard line right there. The ball's going to go up for grabs. Now, here's where you tell your D-backs, nobody behind you. If they don't go for the interception, they can catch it. if they have to catch it, fine, tackle them.
4th down and 17. That's frankly irrelevant because this will be the last play of this South Jersey Group 2 championship game. Graber with Bookman in the backfield. 2 receivers set on each side. Graber, quick drop, looks to throw. Graber throws it into traffic, and it falls incomplete, and that will be it. This football game is over. Hillside with quite the comeback, trailing by 10 points, come back and steal it away from West Deptford, and Hillside makes it 3 straight sectional championships.
Wow, is about all we can say. A 4th quarter football game. West Deptford was in total control of this game until the 4th quarter.
Well, for West Deptford, again, they go down in a heartbreaker, but you can't say enough about this Eagle squad. A tremendous season once again. Finely coached team. You know, again, you wonder, would it be different if they didn't have a couple of their weapons hurt? But nonetheless, a couple critical mistakes really changed the fortune of the Eagles.
Yeah, well, you hate to go look at that. That fumble recovery was a big play in the situation. But I guess what we have to look in the same situation. We had 2 championship teams in here today. Neither team wants to lose. And Hillside showed the spunk and the mettle that they said, even though they had been totally controlled for 3 quarters, that they were not going to allow themselves to lose.
Well, Atlantic City Electric Game of the Week was just that, electric. A phenomenal, phenomenal game. Hillside is your South Jersey Group 2 champion, defeating West Deptford by the score of 14-10. For my partner, Fred Swartz, my director, Stan Ritter, and all of the crew, I want to thank you for joining us, not only tonight, but also throughout this season. I'm Rob Christ. Thank you. Good night.